Are we
Yep.
there? All
Yep.
right, cool.
We're back on.
All right, we were talking about death metal and we were talking about guitar playing, and then you said the last thing you said is somebody in the industry sent a song over to you and told you to listen to it when you did the blind reaction to my Pound of Rust tune.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember who it was, but man, like that's a hell of a song.
Well,
That
thanks, man.
that just the lyrics is the guitar playing's great on it as well, but man, those lyrics, like I mean, it doesn't get more confessional and just, like a business card of this is who I am, and it's deep.
Oh, it's a deep one. It's the last out of about I did a little over 5 years in Arizona, and that's the last song I wrote before I headed home. That kind of just summed up, everything. And I used to start a lot of shows off with that song because it does. If you didn't know me and you're listening to that song on the first time, you're gonna know who I am, or you might not like it. And you might turn around and walk. That song lets you know exactly what I'm about.
Yeah. Like
But I don't
when,
know how to
when
write anything else but just truthful stuff. I mean, the autobiographical songs, they come very easy to me. But I've written a lot of songs that have character creations, but usually, man, I'm just writing about crap that's happened to me.
yeah. Yeah, it's now, do you have like people walking out on you? Because I know a lot of people.
No, no, no. I say that jokingly. I say that at
Yeah.
shows. It's my half-assed attempt at wit and humor because there's none of that in any of my songs. So the only time I can make people laugh typically is the banter in between them.
it's, I was gonna say like I'm trying to think what your most like upbeat song would be. It's maybe the one. God, I'm terrible with the clouds.
A Quiet on My Cloud.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I have that, and then I have another one called Percocets and Pawn Shops, which is like my number one streamed song, and which is another kind of upbeat one. Now, I write in the full rock and roll genre too. I just had never really released anything. I used to be in like a little rock and roll band out here in Arizona for a few years, about in like 2012, called Sour Diesel Trainwreck. We recorded a studio album, and then yeah, we were a bunch of stoners. Studio album, and then we did a live album, and I've got a whole bunch of that stuff, and I'm actually going to record an album in next month in September, another album, and I'm going to at least record one of these rock and roll songs just because I've got a ton of them and they're just sitting here.
nice. Yeah, because I mean, just traditionally, your songs. I'm gonna say the phrase like unpolished. You you know what I mean? Just
Yeah, I mean,
guitar, your
there's not,
voice.
I don't, yeah, I don't want to, I don't have, if you listen to my last two albums, I had Nielsen Hubbard and Ryan Colwell help produce those, and they're very good at not losing the songwriter in the middle of everything. That's kind of the
Yeah,
focus, and everything else is kind of there supportive. So I don't know that you'll ever hear one of my songs or one of my albums that has like full band drums, everything in every single song from the time you start. I like unless I was going to make just a purely rock and roll album, I think that would be cool. But yeah, I like the mid-tempo, finger-picked ambient sound that you can just kind of get locked into people's mind with the story. Everybody has their thing. And I'm still trying to just write as many songs as I can that feel good to me. I don't write. I'm not one of them guys that wakes up and writes 5 songs a day. Hell, I might not write 5 songs in a month. I write them whenever I feel like writing them. Because I'm not really writing to pitch my stuff to other people, so I don't have that. I don't want that burden. Um, for me, it would be a burden. For some, they love it. And there's all kinds of different writers out there.
yeah, yeah. So
So I mean,
I've seen a bunch of pictures of you with a hat and it says tier miner. How did
oh,
how did that come about?
just a lot of people. I forget how I think I said one time at a show, if I had a band, it'd be JD Graham and the Tear Miners, jokingly, and that thing kind of stuck. And then so I just ran with it, because I let people know at my shows, I am coming for your feelings. I want to make you feel something, 100%. And I think I get introduced by that name, but this is JD Graham, the Tear Miner himself, which is great. It's great because it kind of encapsulates, what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to tell a story, but I'm also trying to dig deep into folks' emotions. And I had one lady tell me one time. She said, "I've never at end of a show. I never met me before, never heard me." She said, "I've never met you in my life, and after that show, I feel like I've known you my entire life." Type thing. And so I really dig for that deep personal connection with the songs. I want to create, those emotional experiences in folks. And a lot of that has to do with crying. And that's why I play these quiet rooms. I only really play listening rooms and things where folks are there to listen to songs because if, I think songwriters, for me, like I perform different in a completely quiet room. Like if there's chaos going around, I mean, I just am not interested in playing Joe's Bar and Grill with 50 people talking about their 69 Camaro. So about a year and a
Yeah,
half ago, I said, I'm not doing any more of those unless it's on my terms. And the quiet rooms are great because the connection is palpable. You can feel it in the room. And the songs I write are kind of geared to be played in quiet places. But I get to play some cool festivals sometimes, where things get quiet at the festival, which is it's always surprising to me.
yeah, yeah. My first experience at a listening room, it was pretty intense. Just like even people like ordering drinks and just like I'll take one of this,
R-
and I was like, man, this is
Right.
really cool because I'm like the magnet for the scream talkers, and I'm like, why did you come here? Like, I want to hear the music, and just it's so weird when people go to concerts and the concert's background music for them. I never really like what's the point? Uh,
Well, I think different cultures consume music a little bit differently. Like in the United States, in the United States, like it's implied if you go see Elton John in a theater with a piano, people aren't going to be talking. And so it's really cool to have these rooms or these venues that are listening rooms. So it's implied when you walk in there, and you know that people that are buying a ticket to that, they're going to be invested in the evening and the experience. When I got the great honor and privilege of playing over in Europe since last October. I toured 3 times over there. Those people consume music completely different. Are extremely attentive. I mean, you can hear the gasps in the room, like after certain lines hit people a different way, and it's just like it's a little bit different than the American listening room model, which is fantastic. But over there, I think. Um, Culturally and just art wise, those folks are connected to the performing arts over there,
yeah,
which is cool. I love it over there. I want to play over there half the year and half the year in the United States. So
yeah.
it's beautiful. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say that just at the same point. They say, they're there for the experience and they care about the songs, they care about the artists, and you know,
Oh, it's 100% gorgeous. I'm heading back over there next year for a couple of months. I'm trying to do 70 shows in 90 days is kind of the goal for next year over there. Um, because it's so beautiful. You get to see everything. I saw some of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen in my entire life over
yeah,
there. Not just scenery, but like just ideology and the culture over there. Everybody's not really worried about nothing. They're just chilling. They're there.
yeah,
There's not all the animosity, or at least I didn't see it. I'm sure if you live over there, every society and culture has its own hiccups and things that it struggles with. But I didn't see any while I was over there
yeah. That
personally.
reminds with like heavy metal guys. I can't remember if it was Brazil where people sing the guitar riffs
Oh,
while the
wow,
band
okay.
while the band's playing. I remember seeing it and someone explaining. He was like, "You've never experienced a show like I'm pretty sure it was Brazil." And it was really cool. I think it was Symphony of the Destruction. The whole crowd going la 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 la. It was really interesting to hear like a choir of people mimicking the guitars.
Hey, they take their metal seriously. I was in Norway for about a week, and this one venue I played, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a metal club, and there was like 3 rooms in there. So they had like a listening room. They would bring like the folky stuff into. And right next door, there was a death metal band playing. I walk in the door, and there's a band sound checking, and then they're done, and they have Sepultura, a song from the Arise album, just blasting through the PA. I'm like, I am in my place, you know. They take their metal so seriously over there, and I love it, you know. I think
Yeah.
that's what where Demi Borgir is from, up in that area as well. There's a lot of metal history over there in Scandinavia, man. It's Viking country, man. And they take their metal seriously, as
Y-
they should. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, they do. It's weird how like certain areas get known for music, and that's like the mecca of that whole sound of all those
Yeah.
guys. It's
Now, where are you currently at? Where are
I'm
you out
in
of now?
I'm in Delaware.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know you were that. I ain't never even been that far north, I don't think.
Yeah, it's funny when it's some people sometimes people think I'm from Texas, and I'm like, if I was from Texas, I wouldn't be the channel wouldn't exist because down there it's like, man, you just walk well, you just walk around. And I'm always interested in like band shirts, and if some of these band shirts I have now, I would have been like, oh, I'm gonna check these bands out. But yeah, we are starting to get a lot more of the Texas Oklahoma guys, and the singer songwriter in Americana, and it's nice to see that people are excited for songwriters again, and because like Bob Dylan and all, there hasn't I don't know, like it's just really cool to see. I think Zach Bryan really brought out being a singer songwriter
No,
is kind of
I would
cool.
agree. Like, regardless of what, like, your views on his body of work, I can tell you because I've got three daughters that are in their mid to late 20s, and even their dad being a songwriter, it wasn't until Zach Bryan started writing songs that he's like, I've watched it. I've watched his what he's doing, bringing the entire younger generation to get them interested in like in pure like songwriting. Like, regardless of whether you like the guy's body of work or not, like, I can say from a completely unbiased standpoint that from having daughters, that even having daughters of a father that's a songwriter, that Zach Bryan pulled them into the songwriters, and they'll send me stuff these days that I'm like, you ever heard of this person? Like, yeah, I've been listening to him for years. Well, it came up on my Spotify when I was listening to a Zach Bryan song, you know. So
Yeah,
so yeah, it's great for people to get back into new songwriting. You know what I mean? The songwriting with that relies more on truth than it does what the trend is. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Guys are just writing their personal feelings down on a piece of paper and throwing some chords around and hoping from the best. I don't think that there's like any secret sauce or secret equation. You know, I think some of that stuff is just the truth, and put out just right. It really touches people, and it's cool to see the young generation because uh, 15 years ago, the younger generation was listening to popular radio, whatever that means, whatever your genre of choice is. The
yeah,
the underground independent scene just had really not reared its head as it has now with the invention of the internet and podcasts and everything. But if I had it my way, I'd go back to where if the internet got turned off today, I'd be happy. The world would be a small place again.
yeah,
Or it'd be a big place. The world's become very small because we have so much information at our fingertips. So it's cool whenever I see this younger generation gravitate towards songwriters, and not people that are just writing for the dollar bill either.
yeah, de- definitely. Because like you said, I mean, for a while, if you want it, I mean, granted, they're out there, but they're just not like mainstream or just like word of mouth, like American Aquarium and
Yeah.
guys like that, and they're more on the rock side, but it's like the first time I was talking to BJ, I said, man, I put your record on, and I felt like we like had a conversation, and like new parts of him. It's like your song, "As for Me," like that's a pretty in depth song of like you just
Yeah, that was just I wrote that. that song is just a true story about that's got all my entire family in it. Grandmas,
Yeah.
aunts, uncles, all of it. It kind of gives you just a little overview of where I was raised. And I think all most of the songs I write are just little glimpses into specific times of my life. You can't fit an entire lifetime in one song. I mean, I've done so many things that I've never written about, and who knows if I ever will. I don't live that old life that I used to live, but I still have a lot. Those experiences still rear their head all the time. And I was like, well, I might as well write about it. It's crossing my mind for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say like it's definitely I've come to really, really enjoy that style and hear those stories and stuff like that. Cause it reminds me of like the old the beat guys, like William S. Burroughs and Jack Kerouac and all those guys and Bukowski of just like raw. I used to love like just like the poems that were just like a page or maybe a page and a half, and just a short little blip of what they were going through, and just the story, and it's kind of like that, but added guitar, which I
It's
like.
great. You mentioned American Aquarium. I know that I had three of their CDs sent in when I was locked up. Like in the first year, I think the first CD I ever had sent in was a John Fulbright CD from the ground up. This is before we had tablets in prison, when all we had was CD players, and nobody in Arizona prisons had any type of music I listened to. It was all metal or Spanish music or a lot of hip hop. And so I met John Fulbright at Mile Zero, and I told the first time I ever met him, I said, "Hey man, I just want to let you know did some time in Arizona. The first CD I had sent in was your From the Ground Up CD, and there are people that are never going to get out of prison that are playing your songs in prison, probably on this day." And he was just was shocked by it. So you talk about the independent writer and the writer that's kind of just telling these stories. Well, all these guys that were locked up, they'd never heard any music like that. So like that became a whole thing on the couple yards that I was on, just because people had never heard, that type of music that was made just from a dude's heart and his guitar, telling a little story about his life. So it's just music's powerful, songs are powerful, and I like to listen to the people that are writing the powerful songs about periods in their life. Including American Aquarium. I'm a huge John Moreland fan. That song Cherokee of John Moreland's is probably one of my favorite songs ever written. Um, it must be Oklahoma and Johns, right? We got Fulbright and Moreland.
Yeah. Who who's your? Do you have a favorite songwriter?
I don't have a singular favorite. I have a group of them. I just missed it. I just listed a couple. I also really love. I don't know if you know Anna Tivolis or Jeffrey Martin or Ryan Colwell. Those are
No.
some writers that I really really like. But as far as like somebody that everybody would know, I don't have really a favorite, man, because I listen to a lot of different stuff. Everybody has their own little thing.
Yeah.
Depends on what I want to listen to. I still listen to some rock and roll stuff. I'm a huge Pony Bradshaw fan.
Yeah. His. I think the first song of his about Van Gogh.
Yeah.
The first time I heard it, I was like, it's different in a really good way. And that reminds me, I think he's coming around here. I'm gonna have to. I missed him
I've
the last
never
time.
seen him. I hope to get to see him. I'm making an album next month with the guy that did his last few albums, Jason Weinheimer, out in Little Rock. Um, so I think he's done a lot of stuff. But he did some Bradshaw albums. He did a Fulbright album, a Moreland album, and I think a bunch of Tulsa guys are gonna play on it, and I'm looking forward to it. It's always cool to walk into a room with people you've never met before with songs that they've barely heard, and so let's make an album,
Yeah.
rather than spending a ton of time like working everything out. I love it, like just kind of coming together, on the spot, that's the way I like to make albums. I just sit there with my guitar on a bar stool and sing and play my songs at the same time with a pair of headphones on and some other guys that I've potentially never met. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
It's definitely fun. The first time I was amazed at just how fast a song can come together of when you just have an idea. It's
Hmm.
really cool, especially if you have a like a really good engineer at the board and knows what he's doing, and just and that was also one of the first times I dealt with session players where you can hum anything and they'll play it. I thought that was pretty cool. How like you could just like write a song, just be like, like old kind of like blues style, and
Hmm.
just how like one sentence can become a song of just from somebody's memory or a story, and just it's just interesting.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And like you mentioned, the studio cats. I never really went in with guys I never met until I made that Pound of Rust album, and I had never seen people work with such efficiency. It's like, like if you're like in a band in high school and you guys been playing around, you want to go make an album, you spend a lot of time on pre-production and all this other stuff and coming up with ideas. And I found for me the key is find people that already have those ideas. The idea walks in the room. You know what I'm saying? You don't
Yeah,
have to figure it out because you can. I love telling a guy, "Hey, what do you want me to do on this? I want you to do whatever you would do on it. That's why I want you to play on this because I trust your judgment." And these guys, and they can give you like stylistically, they can take a song in multiple different directions, like, and not even think about it. Oh, you want to try this? Let's try it. And it's crazy, and there's no ego, and it 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 was amazing to watch, and it's great not to have to go in the studio and fight with a bunch of people you've been on the road with that you may hate to go make an album. I don't travel with a band. You may be a pedal steel player, a fiddle player next to me, and I'm gonna put together a little something this year and maybe do a few full band shows. It's because I love playing with bands as well. I've
yeah,
done it most of my life, but I do love this. I like just having my guitar and nothing else to luck around my guitar and my pedal board and not, what I mean? A whole
yeah,
trailer full of crap you got to unload every night. So I think all both of those things, like the bands have their advantages, and I think the solo guys have their advantages. It's all about what you want. Find out what you want and chase it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
The
And
way I
it's
feel about it.
yeah, and it's always nice. I mean, you can do both. And when you're itching for, you
Hmm.
know, a, a bass drum behind you and getting that rock out, you just schedule a
Feels
full
good.
band. Yeah,
Yeah, right. No, it feels good. There are some situations I like that, but I've enjoyed traveling around with this acoustic guitar. I bring a baritone with me from time to time too, electric old Dan Electro baritone I bought for $100. That sounds killer. I bring it out to some shows. How do you make my songs darker and sadder? You play them on a baritone guitar,
yeah,
as if they needed any help, right?
yeah.
And
To
people all the time ask me, when are you going to write some happy stuff? And I'm like, well, I think there's a happy message. In a lot of my songs, just the content to get there. I gotta drag people through a bunch of tragedy to let them smell the other side of it. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
With no agenda. I mean, it's just kind of the truth.
yeah. It's a cool. It's also like a really redemption in the lyrics, because like especially if someone's watching you live and you're like, wow, you know, it's amazing you're here when you know you hear some of the songs and stuff like that, and burning the candle on both ends and whatnot.
And music is so powerful. So what are you listening to these days?
Man, I normally like I have a country versus metal playlist. I pretty much listen to the songs I've listened to before, but it's with like I used to listen to Meshuggah like every day, and it's I haven't e- they've released an album. I haven't even heard any songs off of it. It's weird, but now uh pr- if I'm going to a show, I'll listen to that. Like I just went and saw Cody Jinks,
Okay.
Tanner Osry, Shane Smith and the Saints. I listen to them a lot. Shane Smith and the Saints and Cody stuff. He did some stuff with Mark Morton from Lamb of God. That's pretty cool. And yeah, it's pretty much like w-
Killer. Yeah, I love Shane Smith as well. I love Tanner and Cody both. Met Tanner a few times at various festivals. I think the first Shane Smith song I ever heard, I was locked up, and of course, guess what turned me on to him? Yellowstone, because we did have TVs there. We got to watch Yellowstone. So that song "Little Bird" was my first
Mm.
favorite Shane Smith song.
Yeah, I love those guys. So much sound the, for the amount of people they had. I just remember, like, always say the first. I was like, where's everybody else? I thought for sure they'd have somebody playing synths or something, or just
Hmm.
the sound. And it, come to find out, it's a lot of like modulation with the guitar and the harmonies, and it's because
They're good. They just have all those pieces.
yeah, and I love the tone of Shane's voice, like just the lower register.
That's just unique. Whenever, I mean, you hear him sing anything, you know who it is in the first sentence. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's what's great about very unique singers, guys. You can hear sing three syllables and like hit stop and you know who it is. You know, that's but yeah, that's I've seen at Mile Zero. What a big sound it was. You know, I went out front and listened to that in all of its glory, and it was fantastic. You know who else I saw last year? For me, this is a big statement, but in the last 15 years, I've never seen a show to me that hit me as hard full band as Stephen Wilson Jr. said at Mile Zero last year. What
Okay.
a
I need to.
what a what a like I've listened to his music, but I'd never like seen him live, and I didn't listen to a lot of the stuff. And after that live show, it was like a generational thing that I saw. Like I haven't seen anything. The only thing that, in my opinion, that came as uniquely close to that would be like the Strays. When I saw their first show, there's um, just both fantastic and just like unexpectedly like just unexpectedly pleasant. There's like so much history you can just feel. There's a feeling, it's nostalgia, like wrapped up in something that you haven't seen in a while. And those two shows for me were full band shows, are some of the best that I've ever seen in my entire life across all genres. You know, and I seen Pantera and broke my collarbone at a Pantera show. So when I'm putting him up there with those shows, it's good. You've not seen him live,
Who I
Steven Wilson Jr.?
no, I haven't seen
Yeah,
him, and I've only listened to a couple of his songs. I
yeah,
love this one song, I think in 1994,
yeah,
of like it's just
yeah. He has another one called "I'm a Song" that's fantastic.
he
That's kind of talking from that perspective of a song, but the show was just really cool, man. And it's just crazy to see. There's so much music out there that we may or may not have ever heard of, but to kind of circle back and bring it together, we talk about how powerful music is, and that connection. Like when you can connect with 5,000 people at a festival from a stage with a full rock band, and these people, you're making them feel something. It's just cool. I still feel the same feeling I did that night when I saw those acts, and it was like, I can't describe it, but I can just say it was something special. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, are you going to Mile Zero this year?
I am. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be down there. I'm going there this
Oh,
year.
cool.
I went
Oh,
down
cool.
there a couple years ago. That's where I saw the Red Clay Strays play there.
Yeah. What a great festival.
Yeah, I love
It's
it.
in paradise.
Yeah, it helps if you have a veteran, because if you don't know
Hmm.
the hustle and bustle of it,
Hmm.
which I was kind of like really caught off guard, because it's a shame where you have to pick between some of your favorite artists, and then it's like, well, how am I going to get here? How am I going to get there? It helped that I had people help me, but I really think the second time around I'm gonna know how to really get around and see a lot more music. But yeah, like you can't beat it. It's fantastic, and it's just like the lineup is crazy awesome. And like a lot of times you can go to Duval after the amp and hang out with them all.
Yeah.
And
It's crazy. When I played there last year, I played right before Morgan Wade at the Smoking Tuna, and like you get access to people at that level, like face to face, where you won't get that like at another festival. I mean, look at what she's playing big ass arenas and stuff. So it's very cool. Like even because I think some of my friends think I'm just a musician. They forget that I'm a music fan first and foremost. I would never
Yeah.
play music and write songs, and they some of my friends don't get that. I figured you just played music and like you didn't even listen to music. Like, what are you talking about? So like even for me, even though I get to go play Mile Zero, like it's a big deal to me to figure out who I want to go see because there are so many choices and you can't see them all, so it's the long game. You just go for a couple years and hope for the best that you can see see as many people as you want because it is such a broad festival from like the legendary songwriters to the up and coming powerhouse bands. You can see it all and you can see it on many different levels as far as venue size and intimacy,
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I I was overwhelmed of just how much music and just the whole town becomes a music town, and everybody is so friendly once they know you're from the festival. You can stop anybody on the street, ask, if you don't know where you're going, who's where, what. It's a really cool, really cool following too, of the people that go there, and they always in the Mile Zero groups they all take pictures together, and it's it's a very very cool, very like a family type vibe down there as well.
I mean, it is, and I think I go all over the place, all over the United States. I see Mile Zero hats and T-shirts all the time. Somebody will walk up, "Hey, I saw you at Mile Zero last year. Saw you were playing in the neighborhood." So those people are there are some very loyal fans that go to that thing that will step in front of a bullet for you, and I love them. I've gained a lot of friends and fans from that festival that I never would have got if had they not just happened upon one of the shows that I was playing there when they didn't even know who I was. So it's cool. And they treat people on the artist side like so good down there. There's no ego, there's no animosity. It's a very efficient machine that was engineered for musicians because it's built by musicians. They know what people are going to need, and another thing that folks aren't going to need.
Yeah.
It's cool. And then the Born and Raised Festival is pretty cool too, out in Oklahoma. I get to do that again this year. Matter of fact, last year I got credibility from my nieces and nephews. I was playing the Red River Theater with Jamie Lynn Wilson, and at the last minute, Treaty Oak joined us, and so I'm playing guitar on a couple guitar solos on their songs, and somebody videoed it, posted to Instagram. And my nieces and nephews were like, Treaty Oak Revival, you're legit. I think it was the word. I was like, oh, that's cool as hell. That my nieces and nephews are listening to that stuff. But that gave me credibility in their eyes and seeing me on stage with them guys playing a little bit of guitar. It was fantastic. That's a really killer festival as well. I'll be
Yeah,
out
that
there in September 13th, I believe.
yeah, that's a great lineup as well. I, I'm trying to think, is that the festival like Oklahoma? Like if you're from the Northeast, you're trying to go to Oklahoma, it's like it's kind of hard. You know,
I've not been up to the Northeast yet. I'm playing in New York for the first time in September, but I've never been really north of Virginia, and I've never been to New York. Kind of in the Midwest. So I'm hoping this year I can find some quiet rooms to come up there and play in the Northeast because I've not been up there in the United States. I've not really done much touring on the West Coast. I've never played in California, Oregon, or Washington. I think Montana is about as far west and north as I've been.
yeah,
Oh, it's a big United States is huge.
yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's funny. Like when the people from Texas, and they're always like, "Where's the best cheesesteak?" I'm like, man, like there's so much history here. I said, you realize these bricks are like the bricks that were laid down in the colonies, like I said, they signed the Constitution across the street,
Oh,
we
there's
get,
there's extreme history up there.
yeah,
Hey,
it's,
but the shallow American just wants to know where the best cheesecake is, right?
yeah, but, where did Rocky run? What's the street Rocky ran down? It's, yeah,
Yeah, it's a.
it's funny. Like he ran up the art museum steps, and they put a statue there. And I used to work with a guy that when you drive by and you see the people taking selfies with it, and he'd be like, "Go in the building. There's priceless works of art in there." It's like, yeah, maybe they will, maybe they won't. But it's just for some reason that just bothered him. But I kind of get like, yeah, when the guys come up, they're from Oklahoma and they're Texas. They want to eat cheesesteaks, and that's kind of like what Philly's known for. If you're not from around here, but yeah, the Northeast. It's I know New York has some cool rooms that I know a lot of people play. I've been trying to go up there to check them out because like it seems a lot of like bands have been skipping Philly. Like I've been having to like drive drive farther and farther to go see more of the Texas, Oklahoma, and Red Dirt guys. But it is cool.
Yeah, what a large genre that has become, huh?
Yeah,
If you look at like the old guys like Kale and Tom Skinner and all those guys that were kind of had that sound, and then the ragweed guys and McClure kind of made that sound their own and kind of rocked it up a little bit, and which it's just cool to see the whole evolution. I grew up out in Yukon, Oklahoma, so I've known those ragweed guys, since we were in school. Me and Plato used to play bass in a couple metal bands that we played in back in the seventh and eighth grade. We would play in bunch of Iron Maiden, DRI, Slayer, stuff like that, which was really cool. But to see the term red dirt, like what it means now as opposed to what it meant, 30 years ago, with like a lot of people don't realize that, how much it has evolved, and some may say devolved. I call it
yeah,
evolution, but some people don't like change, and so they're not going to be happy if somebody puts mustard instead of mayonnaise on their cheeseburger one day. You know what I mean? Because they're used to
yeah,
they're used to what they're used to. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I've been out in Arizona since '07. I spent from the time I was born to 2007. I lived in Oklahoma. And I've been out here since '07, and Arizona's cool. Music scene in Arizona, in my opinion, I'll probably get some flack from this, but it's a cover band wasteland. I don't really play a lot out here because I could play 7 nights a week if I wanted to just play covers all night. But there's not a lot of venues out in Arizona for, in my opinion, for songwriters just to break people's hearts in quiet rooms.
Yeah,
The ticketed things. Most of it's just set up in the corner, bring your PA, and hope for the best.
yeah. That's we get a lot of tribute bands. I guess you got a phone call. Oh,
You there?
yeah, yeah. I
There you
guess
are.
did you get a phone call?
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know it was gonna do that. It's when I got a phone call.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I hope
Is that
it's
what it does? It just kills it?
yeah, sometimes. But
Okay.
yeah, I I guess it's still recording. I don't know. I might have to
It,
restart it.
well, it says it started. It says the recording thing is at 23 seconds now, and it was at like 33 minutes.
Uh, it might have reset. I don't know. Yeah, I'll just stop it and do it again.